Hello and welcome to this discovery session about the Hamish and Milo programme. I'm Claire and I'm the author and creator of Hamish and Milo, and I'm going to share my screen and just take you through a kind of overview of the whole resource and all of the way in which the whole programme works, the implementation of the programme. So this is Hamish and this is Milo. So Hamish is our little dog and Milo our kitten. And they very much are what leads the whole approach, because we know that children love animals and we know that they are able to talk to animals, sometimes even more than adults. And what we wanted to do was to create a resource that really spoke to children, but most importantly, allowed them to really feel heard, really listened to and connected to. So Hamish and Milo is a wellbeing intervention. It is a whole emotions curriculum really, which takes you through 10 different theme packs and very much looks at intervention for small groups of children, around 6 children in a group, but it can be done one-to-one or with smaller groups, but really enabling the adults that are leading the resource to have everything that they need in order to run a 10-week programme. So our mission is to support children to feel happier, heard and connected, and happier if only we could really help children to feel much happier with the lives that they have, and to feel able to feel listened to really be heard and validated for their own experiences. And the connection is about really feeling that they belong and that somebody really supports them and that they matter. We really wanted to provide an emotions curriculum which is aimed at targeted intervention, because we have growing numbers of children now with mental health needs. And the other key here is about how do we support those adults first? How do we support the adults that are present in the lives of children, that are doing the work day in, day out, and supporting young people with really big emotional situations and experiences in their lives. So we wanted to offer a whole resource and a whole program that enables them to do just that. One of the other things that we'll cover very briefly in this discovery session is the University of Bath research study that we are involved with Hamish and Milo, and we're really trying to look at what the impact of the resource is on children's long-term and short-term well-being. So these are the 10 themes within the programme. Every one of those looks like a book, I know, but actually it's a resource in a box, and it comes with all of the session plans, all of the supporting materials, the leaflets, the parent information packs, as well as stickers and journals and all of the resources you need to run a 10-week programme. So each one of those is a 10-week programme in its own right. So if we started with the magenta kind of colour one, this is called Actions, Words and Me. It's about conflict resolution, and this is very much about what is conflict, what are the feelings underneath conflict. It's not just anger. Sometimes there's hurt, there's guilt, there's betrayal, there's real upset underneath conflict. And children really need help to be able to name how they're experiencing a situation, and also the skills to be able to listen, to be able to hear another side of a story, to be able to understand hurt underneath blame, and to begin to be able to listen with empathy. And so we give them the skills and the opportunities to develop scripts and ways in which they can solve their own difficulties and their own problems, whilst also recognizing and validating the feelings underneath. The purple one is Celebrating Me. This is diversity. This is very much about what it feels like when I feel different, when I look different, when I feel different, when I don't even look different, but people treat me as if I'm different. It's about that real sense of what it feels like where you don't belong. And for children, very many of us have neurodiversity, or there are situations where children are struggling with situations like LGBTQ+, race, gender, a whole range of situations which mean that children need support to be able to feel proud of who they are. And we really do take the role in this to support them to celebrate who they are, to stand up for what they believe in, to be able to understand a little bit about anti-bullying and stereotyping and what discrimination is, but also to empower them to really have strength in celebrating their own uniqueness and everybody's difference. Resilient Me is the blue one, and this very much is a a pack all about what it says on the tin, resilience. And this again is about recognizing that actually we sometimes have a stiff upper lip and we say to children, come on, you can do this, you can bounce back. And actually, we know that resilience doesn't happen on its own. It happens within relationship. It happens when there's someone alongside you to give you that sense of courage to be able to believe in you, because then we can begin to believe in ourselves. So this really looks at reaching for goals, but also who supports us to do that. It also looks at how we cope with feelings like frustration, or how we become persistent when we come to obstacles or when things are tricky. So there's teamwork in this resource. And there's also opportunities for children to be able to think about what are their goals, what do they want to achieve, what do they want to reach for, and who's there to support them to do this. The next one is the sort of teal colour. This is Calm Me, and this is about anxiety. And this takes a real range of opportunities to look at some CBT elements to where we can challenge worries, but also how we understand our worries, what's going on inside our body and our brain, the psychoeducation around what triggers us into panic, into that fight, flight, freeze response if we're anxious about something, and also what sensations are happening inside our bodies. And it gives also some opportunities to think about mindfulness and other strategies to be able to help us to cope, to manage, to name and to tame some of those really difficult feelings that we might be having when we feel anxious. Finding Me is the blue one, and this one is about sadness, really helping children understand sadness and about having permission to feel the feelings that we feel. I think very often as adults, we try to jolly children out of sadness and try to cheer them up. And actually, sometimes it's really important to sit alongside them and say, I'm so sorry that you're so sad, but you're not alone with that feeling. I'm alongside you. And also trying to think about the fact that very often we might mask sadness, we might look happy on the outside, but internally we're feeling real sense of grief or loss, or unhappiness that we can't put words to. So by giving children the opportunity to begin to think about that, to reflect on it, to be able to know what to say when someone else is sad, this is all really important work. Um, the next program is the green one, New Beginnings and Me, which looks at change and transition. So this isn't just change at the beginning of a year or the beginning of a new class or new friendships. This is about change that happens that's unwanted, change that happens when it's sudden. You know, the pandemic is a big example of that, where it happened so quickly and it wasn't what we wanted, and it was very frightening and left us with lots of feelings of uncertainty and frustration and panic and worry around change. So we really look at hopes and fears, we look at ways to plan for change, to be able to learn to accept elements of change, and also to be able to understand the feelings that we're having, and again have permission to have those feelings. The next one, the kind of light green one, is Memories and Me, and this obviously deals with loss and bereavement, as it says. And this really does look at how we can understand some of the feelings that we feel and accept those feelings. Really starting to feel that you're not alone when you're grieving, that actually when you are alongside someone that's able to hear and to be alongside you, you can let go of some of those feelings, but also you can reach for memories, and you can help that healing process of holding on to precious memories and thinking about special people that we've loved and lost, but also the whole range of loss. Sometimes it's a pet, sometimes it might be a friendship. There's a whole range of losses, even things like separation and divorce can be huge losses for children. So we really help them to think about how we really cherish special memories, but also acknowledge the painful feelings that we have too. The next one, the orange one, is Amazing Me, and this very much is about self-esteem, really helping us to know how we feel good enough about ourselves, to really know that we matter. And we really do get that from our earliest experiences. So the adults around us, even adults in schools, are hugely important in shaping our sense of self-esteem, and also enabling us to feel strong enough to be able to stand up for ourselves, to develop assertiveness, to be able to say, I'm worth something here, and I don't want to be downtrodden or made to feel that I can't speak up for myself. So it's really about celebrating everything that's wonderful about me. My Friends and Me, it's the one I've got right here in my hand. And this one is about friendship. This isn't just about all the qualities of friendship, even though it does cover that, but it also covers when my friend lets me down, when my friend hurts me, how to stand up against friends when they're pressuring me to do something I perhaps don't want to do, but also how do we make friends with when we've quarreled? How do we know what to say rather than being told, oh, you'll be friends tomorrow, or maybe go and find someone else to play with, or ignore them for now? We need children to be able to say, I feel and I need, and when you, I feel and I need, so that they're really able to have honest communication. And this really sets them on the path for relationships throughout their lives. And the final one of the 10 is Exploding Me. And this is about strong emotions. This is about angry feelings. So often, again, children feel that they're mad or they're bad if they have bad, angry feelings, and they're kind of pushed outside or told to stand away. And actually, we need children to have permission to feel angry. We need them to know that it's their inner guard dog. And we talk about this in the program, that it's saying something doesn't feel right. There's a sense of distress or alert. So we're on alert and we're in fight or flight mode. And we're needing support to be able to recognize our triggers, to be able to calm, to regulate ourselves alongside being supported by another. And then ways that we need to learn to be able to expel those angry feelings, safe ways that we can then call upon in order to manage and to support ourselves with those angry feelings. But we need permission to feel angry because it's a protective factor, and it's so important that children have the right messages around angry feelings. So that's the 10 programs. They are all 10 weeks. They're aimed for small groups of up to around 6 children. But we also do know that some of the resources are being used across classes as well now, the friendship matrix, and some of the activities around helping children understand the brain are being used more widely. So the resources, much more than it even seems within those 10 resource packs. Every single pack has 10 different, very detailed session plans. You'll see that they're laminated, they're beautifully designed. You can use them again and again. And they really cover the same kind of format with a welcome and check-in. They then have a focus moment, which really helps the children to think about what's happening for that session. What's the key material that we're going to be thinking about and covering. There's an insight focus, which is more aimed at the adults to really help them think about what they want to help the children to have conversations around, or how they want to guide the learning. This is a psychoeducation that really helps the adults think, this is how I need to support the children to think and reflect in different ways. There's always a practical activity. It might be skills practice, role play, or it might be creative arts, to be able to support children, to be able to process their thoughts, to work together, to be able to think about and collaborate some of these ideas. And then there's always a reflection part at the end. And then we encourage children to use a journal, which we provide also, which have beautiful opportunities for children to think about what they've learned in the day. They can draw something, they can write a sentence about something that they've learned, their best thought for the day, or something that they feel that they've achieved. And then there's opportunities for stickers as well, and a real chance for children to feel special and valued. And this is what this is about, really helping them to feel important, that they matter. So every which way we can do to support that is absolutely central to this resource. So there's a real range within each of those session plans. And as you'll see, there's 10 different session plans, a whole range of different packs within each of the different themes. We also use sock puppets. Now, sock puppet pets are a very important part of our resource. They come very much with all of the resources. Each of our packs comes with all of the resources to make 7 sock puppet pets. Now, we want 7 because we want the adults to make them too and to model the approach. And often it's the adults that are more nervous. So we really encourage you to have a go and to practice first. We do have a video on our hub which helps you to think about how to use puppets, but they are a therapeutic tool. They are very much about helping children to talk about or talk through a puppet about situations that they might not say more easily, where they feel more vulnerable to say what's happening for them, but they can tell a story through the puppets. And so it's a distancing tool, it's a therapeutic approach, as well as being very much fun and spontaneous and creative. So again, one of these quotes here is that the children are verbalizing things that they wouldn't have verbalized before. And we really are hearing the magic of what the sock puppets are able to create for children and adults alike. So we really do encourage you to use them as a central part of our resource. Parents and carers are also, of course, really important. And in each pack, there is a specific leaflet around the specific theme, talking to the adults and the parents about what we're going to be doing and what we're going to be covering. So we really give them the ideas of to talk to their children about each week. And ideas of what they might like to do at home. Of course, it's not compulsory, it's just ideas. It also talks about the sock puppets, but also gives some of the core language for the parents to be able to think about, to have that shared understanding, that shared communication, and also to be able to feel that they have a lot to bring too. They're the experts of their children too. And we really want to celebrate that and enable them to feel empowered enough to understand what we're doing and how we're supporting their children. So these parent leaflets are really important as part of the resource. So I'm going to come on now to the University of Bath Research Project, and one of the other kind of elements that's in each of the resources is our wellbeing profiles, and I will talk about this more in detail, but this is the way that we might measure the impact, and you will see that these are digital resources on our website as well now, and they're also paper copies so that you've got easy access to do a pre and post a kind of assessment around what are the presenting behaviours for each child, and also the protective factors, which is on the back, an opportunity for observation. So this is our pre and post measure. And this is very much used as part of the University of Bath study. So we are absolutely delighted to be working with the University of Bath. We are working with a research team led by Professor Richard Joyner, and everything is GDPR protected, and so that we never use children's names, but we are using coded questionnaires. We are also using SDQs as well as our wellbeing profiles, so that we're using the strengths and difficulties questionnaires to really give a standard measure alongside the measures that we're using within our Hamish and Milo resource. So this is such a powerful opportunity. We're working with cohorts of schools, we're offering additional support and training, but most importantly, we're really looking at what is the difference for our children, what's the difference for your children, to really make a difference and to see the impact that this resource can have. And we're already a few months into this study, and it's an ongoing study. We are aiming to have a paper presented at the Division of Clinical Psychology, and we are looking to really see what we can do to support and what is the impact of this resource on children's well-being. And as I've said, the feedback so far is really exciting. So we offer cohorts of schools a training and support package. We offer an SLT briefing, very similar to what I'm doing now, just to give the project outline. And then we offer a more detailed Explorer session, which is a 90-minute session for the champions or the ELSAs or the TAs or the staff that will be leading the programmes. And also support them with a project plan. And then we also are offering half-termly supervision sessions as a catch-up, as a way of networking, but also as a way of sharing difficult situations that might come up for a child, and also to think about how we best implement the resource. So those are really supportive half-termly sessions. And what we ask schools in the project to do is to facilitate at least one of the programmes per term with a group of up to 6 children, to complete the wellbeing profiles, and also to make sure that we do this timely, so that at the beginning of the term and at the end of the term we do the pre and then the post, so that we're really having that real robust energy around the data collection as well. So I've already talked to you about the impact measure wellbeing profiles, and this, as I've said, is one element of what we're collecting. We're using strengths and difficulties questionnaires as well as a children's voice questionnaire, and this is all accessed through a hub on our website, and we really encourage schools to access all of the range of additional resources through that website as well. So what we're also aiming to do is to have a comparison around the strengths and difficulties questionnaires and the wellbeing profiles, but also to ensure that the child's voice is heard too. We are also collating some school data, the contextual data around the demographics, so that we can look at specific groups of children as well, and the kind of much more the wider picture around this resource. We are very excited to be able to offer Navigator, which is our new digital dashboard. So schools involved in the study will have access to visuals, the graphs, and the pre and post data of the SDQs and their wellbeing profiles, to be able to really see the difference themselves at their own fingertips. So this is an exciting new part of our resource and will be available very soon for schools involved in the project and beyond. We are aiming for this to be accessible for all schools that are using Hamish and Milo and that are within our community. We have a hub on our website which offers so many more resources than what you receive per box. There are a whole load more templates. There are opportunities for activity cards or scenario cards, photographs, anything of the resources that you might need a template for are all available on our website, on our hub, and all schools again have access to that. We've created planning journals for the champions that are running the resources. There's access to individual child profiles as well, so that we really start to understand the child's story, which again feeds into schools' own databases. And we really are always updating this. Please do have a look at our website. There is an awful lot more resources and a lot more information about the theoretical underpinning around Hamish and Milo, which really is about attachment aware and trauma informed practice, but really also about how do we develop and build the social and emotional skills of our children and really give them the best opportunity in life. So this was a very wind whistle stop tour. This was our discovery session. Thank you so much for joining me. If you would like any further information, please don't hesitate to contact us. You can contact me directly, claire@hamishandmilo.org, or you can contact us generally through hello@hamishandmilo.org. And please do visit our website. Please do get in touch, and we look forward to hearing from you. Thank you very much.